Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Student Body Rights USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, along with Coach B, and we are podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle, and Coach B, I believe, is Blue
DVL, yes, sir.
DVL 21.
Yes.
21. So, okay, here you go. Enough DMs have been back and forth, so I know it by heart now. So, as far as that goes, this show will be more glorious than the USC defense. I can guarantee you that.
That's a fact.
It's a fact. So, I want to start off with so I don't know if you know USCJ, if you follow USCJ, but USCJ is another podcaster. He just had a podcast the other day. I think it was early, like 12 hours ago. He talked about how people he talked to said that Leonard has interviewed for the position, and that that they're working out some other stuff, and he's the prime candidate as far as that goes. And then also, the guy, if it doesn't work out, I mean, they're going to try to go after the names you're hearing are Morgan Scaley of Utah, and Jimmy Lake, which should be interesting because Lake has had he just despises the air raid offense. When he went against Mike Leach, he did everything in his power to try to embarrass that offense because he hates it so much. So it'd be interesting to see if him being out of work. When you're out of work, you kind of have a little bit more.
It changes things. For sure.
Yeah.
Money changes. I'll say two things: money and pain change things really quickly.
It really does. So what are your thoughts about the first thing? Jim, that possibly that Jim. Give me one second. That Jim Leonard has interviewed for the job.
Well, I mean, it's Jim's job to lose, right? If he wants it, he got it. I mean, I felt like that's what it was going to be in the first place. I also think that, I just don't see Morgan Scaley. I get it. He's always built the trenches. I think he's been able to do more with less. You know what I mean? But it's some things about those guys.
The trench work is nice. I mean, they got boys.
No,
that's hard to move.
But he does. He does. But I think he gets motivated guys, right? The one thing about recruiting is when you get guys who are already at the top of their game. How do you change those guys?
Yeah.
Right? He gets guys. He does more with less. And he maximizes that. Don't get me wrong. He maximizes those guys. Yeah. He gets the 3 stars, the 2 stars, and make them look like 5 stars, gel together like 5 stars, like you wouldn't be able to tell, right? And you always respect that. I think the thing about that is I want the guy who's used to getting 5 stars and making 4-star guys play above their head, because that's the guy I want. That's why I said on our last show I want the Dave Arandas. I don't mind Jim Leonard. I don't mind, because those guys have had the 5 stars, know the personalities, know what he's dealing with, and been able to press those buttons and make them play at a championship level.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are. I mean, he's getting the C-. He's getting that 2, maybe when they got there was 2-star guy,
right?
And then all of a sudden he is he's ends up being a 4-star maybe, and then end up getting drafted in the National Football League. As far as that goes, so that could be part of it. That could be part of it. That Utah has that U in Utah stands for Utes, stands for Utah. Also stands for underdog mentality. Like
exactly.
If USC is doing it right, then you may maybe you have 2 or 3 guys like that. You don't have a whole defense filled with that.
Exactly.
And I think they will have. I think Utah will have a whole defense filled with that, along with their 27-year-old quarterback who's coming back next year.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I like Morgan Scaley. I just feel like I want guys who are used to grabbing those 5 stars and being have proven have to have that championship medal with those guys and being able to grab those guys. Again, like Jim Leonard, I respect because he knows the Big Ten landscape, right?
100%.
He knows what that looks. He knows what that looks like. But I again, like I think it's his to say no. I think the only reason why we haven't really touched Dave Aranda probably is because he's still in season. That we don't know if they're gonna fire him. You know what I mean? We don't know. I mean, speculation. It sounds good, but we don't know.
And then and usually they don't. I mean, they're both eligible, right? Baylor or not?
Yeah, I believe if they're not, they're close to it.
They're close to it. So I don't think
they might need this week to be bowl eligible.
What you need? 7 wins?
6 wins.
6 wins?
Yeah, 6 wins get you bowl eligible.
Let me just check on this. Check it. Baylor record. I'm just double checking what their record is real quick.
Yeah, I'm checking that now too.
I want to see their oh no. What are they? They are so what is this is football, right? Football. Yeah, they're 3. They're 3-8.
Oh, yeah, they're out of there.
They're out of there.
You don't have to worry about that. But again, you don't talk to a coach at the end of the season. So I think our AD is going to do a good job of that, and probably still. I mean, Jim Leonard will probably be the first interview, but I don't think. I hope we don't conclude our interviews until after we talk to Dave Aranda.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it will be. I understand.
I think, and to me, listen, I'm a 4 down guy. Like I'm so tired of playing the 3-4. I am. I'm so tired of 3 front.
Well, but doesn't Leonard play 3-4?
Yeah, and that's what that's one of my personal reasons why I really wouldn't want Jim Leonard. He's a 3-4 guy. I'm tired of 3-4. It's so hard. It's so difficult. You misfits if you don't have studs aligned in the 2 mic positions. It's the mic and the jack. It's crazy. Like you have to have those guys. I mean, and I'm not saying he can't get them, right? I just think a forefront, and it's easy to grab that kid out of high school in the forefront. You don't have to really build a defense. You can have a ready-made defense to go forward with. And I think and Dave, and don't get me wrong, Dave plays in and out of a 3 front also. So it's not like he's strictly a 4-front guy, but he can have a 4-front.
And I think also too is like I just want to just like you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Let's just stop the goddamn run first,
right?
And I think out of a 4-3 you can stop the run a little bit. You can a little bit easier. I mean, I can't tell you like I'm watching like Romello Height just do some really good things in the pass rush. Him and Jalil Muhammad, and then like. All of a sudden, like, because they play 3-4, they rush 3 and then dropping these dudes. I'm like, yo, I can't.
Yeah, what are we doing?
I don't want to drop. Like Muhammad and him have bend. They can get to the quarterback. Like I don't want to see those dudes dropping coverage. Like you know what I mean. You saw it last year with Thule. I mean, Thule dropped the coverage a lot.
He did it with Thule. He did it with Corey Foreman. Remember, that's how we beat them last year. It's with Corey Foreman getting a pick, dropping into the flat. Like what? But why? Go get the quarterback. Why is it? Why are we on? How are we giving up first down, 2nd and 17? Explain to me how we're giving up first down in the run game on 2nd and 17.
Yeah, I can't. That's why he's not here anymore. That's all right. but yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I just can't deal with that part of it, and I just want to. First of all, stop the run. I like a 4-3. I don't know why colleges love to do it so much, the 3-4. I mean, maybe because they have a hard time finding 4 down linemen. It's easier to find.
It's fine. One tackle more than one no, but that I don't know because I think that it's harder to find that guy that knows, right? That Bear Alexander, that stud, that Vita Vea, that stud knows zero tech. It's hard to find that guy. It's harder to find that guy than just finding a 1 and a 3, and then 2 linebackers. It really is. So I don't know. I think some guys are more enamored with the movement because of the things you can do in and out of it. The guard, it kind of helps you counter the line play, the offensive line play.
Yeah, if you're gonna run the 3-4, you're gonna do it like the Steelers, where I don't know where a blitz is coming from. I can live with that. But if you're gonna do a 3-4 just to rush 3 players, I just feel like it's a waste. You're wasting your time. And those Vita Veas, all those kind of players like that, they're usually from like the Polynesian community or they're down south. And those guys, they call those guys bubbas because they don't usually leave their mama.
And you got to remember, we're usually getting those guys.
Yeah, I mean that's where I think the Polynesian community, where they have to, that pipeline needs to be locked down. I mean, none of those guys need to be going to Utah or going to Hawaii, University of Hawaii, none of that stuff like that. It become an SC, because that's where they live over there, as far as that goes. Really not much to kind of really discuss as far as the UCLA game. I mean, it was just annoying to have to watch that. I think the game, I thought you turn the ball over twice in your own area. That's just not going to work. I mean, I was pretty much out when Dennis missed that 10-yard field goal by a mile. Like, I mean, I listen, I watch Robles. Robles kicks. He literally kicks down the street from me. I watched that dude kick. I watched that dude kick in high school. Like, it's time. I can't wait for him to start kicking the ball, because I don't know, because he has a leg and a half. So as far as like, Marshawn Lloyd's he fumbled in that area as well. It's just, I mean, it was just that and not stopping the run. I mean, it was very. I talk about coaches kind of stealing money a little bit, and like, we got a lot of that. You got a lot of that, and I think that you have guys who are. They were gonna ride with Alex Grinch forever, and they never were gonna actually, like, they never had aspirations of being
being better, right?
Being a DC of themselves. Yep. So because they weren't prepared, like the Oregon game was there, this game was there, like, you know what I mean, right. And like to let a team that has been one of the most embarrassing offensive units in all of football move the ball, all the time
at will.
I just want, like, why not? Like, how many times did they rush 3? I'm like, dude, I know you're out the door, but eventually you're gonna want another job, right? So, like, why not?
Right?
Why not why not come out and say, hey, when we're in second and long, third and long, these are 3 blitzes we're gonna run, and this is the coverage behind it, and you know what I mean, and that's it. Like,
and it's really simple.
It's really simple. Like, the reason why, UCLA. And all these defenses that are really, really good in college football, and this, it's simple so the players can play fast.
Yep, absolutely. And so to me, I just look at it like there's one glaring thing that I took away from last Saturday's game, is that Caleb showed me he was done. He showed me he was done. Caleb had no interest in running that game. There was a couple times where that 4th and 1 he could have pulled. There's a 3rd and 1 he could have pulled. I think those were design plays for him to pull. They were there for him. He didn't pull. He showed me at that game, okay, I'm trying to get out of this game without getting injured. Yep. So that my draft stock doesn't drop. Not a knock against him. Business move. I'm not mad at it. Right? Not mad at it at all.
It's the first time he took ones, and I think if the game was close and the game was tight and the game was not, he's gonna do what he gotta do to win. But he's done everything. I mean, we felt it after the Utah game. Like, I mean, like he knows that it's not. It's done. It was done then. So,
but this game, when you just take a look at it, this is the first game I can say he showed, like, it was obvious in his style and in the way he was playing that he was not interested. His only interest was getting through 60 minutes of football, not hurt. I respect it. But if you come back next year, because I've been hearing rumblings and I don't think they're very true, but let's hypothetically say if Caleb comes back next year after laying that egg, I'm gonna be highly pissed off. Like, bro, that means you're coming back. You should have that should have been a game. We should have tried that. You should have tried to embarrass them on your birthday. You should have tried to embarrass them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
think he's coming back though.
Yeah, the rumblings. I just don't know if that's really. I think it just makes sense. I mean, like, he's gonna be he can't be. I mean, I'm not gonna complain if he came back. Obviously, we're not gonna complain if he came back. But right. I think he's done. I think he's done.
No, absolutely. I absolutely think he's done.
And then once the bowl schedule comes out, you know what I mean. You'll know.
Well, right now I think they have us playing. They have us playing. The one I heard was UNLV in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
what a nightmare!
That's probably gonna be like December.
Is that gonna be something? Is that gonna be at Allegiant?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That'll be embarrassing.
I mean,
you UNLV. Like, is Larry Johnson playing?
UNLV, December 20th. the Las Vegas Bowl. It's probably like a
God.
Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it's gonna be like I'm like, bro, I'm not watching this.
I might go to it. I might go to it just to go.
I'm not going. I can't. I cannot bring myself because Caleb ain't playing.
But
That's
I
number
want to.
one.
But to me, it's funny because like if Caleb's playing, I probably would stay home. But I do want to see. I want to see Miller and I want to see Malachi. I want to see how that looks.
Well, I don't think Malachi will play. I mean, I guess he has to dress, but I don't think he plays.
Yeah, I mean, so you're thinking
he hasn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Remember, Malachi. He has set the last. He hasn't been dressed the last 2 games. Easily, he hasn't even been dressed.
Which is like fine. You don't really need him to dress if he's not gonna. If you have Miller Moss, that designated as the backup quarterback for sure.
Right.
So that makes sense. That's fine with me as far as that goes. But I mean, it's like a game. It's like a preseason game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna be. But UNLV's gonna play that game like it's the World Series,
like it's their championship.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's like it's their championship. They're playing like there's a greatest thing on earth.
And they had a good year this year. Good for them. Good for UNLV. They had a decent year this year. So
and they had a lot of LA kids that are gonna come to play. Kids are gonna come to play.
They were 2 stars who tried to get to USC. They're like, nah, you can't play here. I'll go to UNLV. Right. And now they're gonna try to whoop that ass.
Like it's like the Arizona kids. It's like how we get the Arizona kids. Yeah, the Arizona kids that are always good for. Like, I'm like, bro, really? Y'all weren't even that good.
Pac-10, Pac-12 coach of the year. I do think it might be the Arizona coach. They play really well.
Jeff Fish, either him or the Oregon State coach. I can see either one.
Yeah, no question about it. I was gonna say anomaly or sign of things to come with Lincoln Riley performance this year.
I think it's things to come.
Yeah.
I have no faith in his ability to make adjustments. I have no faith in his ability or in-game adjustments. That's what's worrying me. If his game plan isn't working, it's just not going to work. If you have people I've already said the greatest quarterback in our history, arguably, I mean, I can't put him in the top 5. He never won a championship, but he's a great quarterback. Let's put it like that. Mm-hmm. You had the greatest quarterback in college football for the last 2 years, right? And you made no adjustments. These in-game adjustments were non-existent. You ran the same. I could diagnose when you were running screen from my living room couch. I can see when you were going to give the ball to Marshawn, when you were going to run. We knew that. So at what point is it going to be okay? You're gonna try to do something different. He never did. Never. Like, not once. We knew where screen game was coming in. We knew when you were going to take a shot. You always wanted to take a shot. There was nothing really open underneath. You didn't schematically get anybody open.
It's weird.
We're losing our deep threat, Taj. Brendan probably, I think he's 50-50 on whether he's going to leave or not. He probably is 50-50.
Oh, going to the draft?
Going to the draft, yeah.
Is he, what year
he can leave.
Though?
He's a junior. He can leave.
He can leave. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he can leave because remember he came over from Colorado, so he can leave.
He could have a really solid NFL career. I think. I mean, he's a big receiver with
not yet. I think he's not yet. I think he needs
one more year. One more year.
Yeah, because I think he has to learn separation. I think he has to learn route running, right, to a level that's going to take him over the top. I don't think he's gotten that route running. He's not a route running extraordinaire.
You think one more year? Do you think one more year?
Absolutely, one more year. Yeah. Absolutely, one more year. He definitely needs one more year to get to where he needs to go. Like, he needs to be that guy. And Taj is gone, so now it's got to be him.
Yeah,
and you got to remember, like you said, yes, if it's an anomaly, it's not because we're losing our most mobile quarterback we probably ever have had since probably Rodney Peete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That pocket mobility is not going to be there. I've never seen Miller Moss do anything like that. Not even close. Yeah. And who knows what Malachi is going to be able to do. When I see Malachi, last time I see Malachi under pressure, I saw him play in Florida. It didn't go well.
Yeah. So they got him listed as a senior, Brendan Rice.
Brendan? Yeah, Brendan. It might be going to I thought he was a junior going into this because I thought he could come. I could have sworn I just looked at that.
Yeah.
We've
So
been
they're
we've been
looking at
talking we've been talking about it in Gridiron a lot because we're gonna go do it. We're doing a draft pod in space.
yeah. I'm looking at the guys who are coming back. Who I mean, you're looking for receivers who are most likely coming back. Cameron Hudson. You got Deuce Robinson. You Singer's probably gone. You got if Jackson wants to come back and be a veteran receiver, that would make sense. I think Jackson could have have an impact there.
Yeah, he could definitely be that guy.
Yeah, he could definitely be that. I get that. Just possession guy, make crucial catches.
Yep,
Mario is a junior.
he
Uh,
has to stay.
he
There's no
has
way he leaves.
he has to stay. He can really be special. It's just that he just makes the bone. He's just afraid of contact sometimes too, which is really
Right.
annoying. No,
Well, they have Dorian listed as a junior, so he may still be. That's why I got him flipped up.
yeah. I mean, and he can't transfer again. So like I would say,
No,
yeah. So
he
I would
probably stays.
he probably see, but he might stay for one more year. He might stay for one. But I do think while what we do lose in mobility, we might be able to get in the ball being out quickly for
True.
for short passes, because I do think, especially like when I'm sitting there in my living room screaming for the short pass and they throw a really short one, a really quick one to Marshawn Lloyd again that gets 25 yards. I'm like, yeah, I mean, let's do that because because if you do that, then maybe you can get these guys to get off the line of scrimmage a little bit.
And so that might be a key too.
Well.
Does Marshawn Lloyd come back?
He's gone. He's going NFL.
You think so?
I think going NFL. I mean,
I
like
I, I think he's a fourth round, fifth round pick at best. I don't know.
running backs get hurt all the time. So, I mean, he
I
really
mean,
has.
I get it, but
Yeah.
I think he could up his draft stock another year.
If he stay one more year, yeah, possibly.
I think he ups his draft stock.
We know Jones is there. I do think he needed some more seasoning, and he needed this year to just get under his belt, just being on the team. Is Quentin Joyner? I think Quentin Joyner could do some things as well. But I think the biggest thing too is maybe I think the biggest thing is him, instead of having somebody like Cliff Kingsbury in his ear, maybe having who kind of runs the same kind of offense and has the same philosophy, have somebody who has the kind of the opposite feel. That would really make to me, because I think there's times where Caleb Williams could have been under center with
true,
and you could have run some mesh. You could have run some mesh concepts. You could have run a lot of different things. Like him under center is more threatening a lot of times than him in shotgun all the time. So, yeah, I mean, it's like you get some 3-jump, you can get some 3-step drop stuff. You can do some other stuff. It just gives you that little change up, and sometimes just handing the ball off to a running back like from the quarterback under center is a look that just like gets him to the line of scrimmage quicker. And then his first move isn't behind the line of scrimmage; it's up the field more. So
right.
So I like that as well. So for me, I'm gonna go on the flip side of it. I'm just gonna think this is the first year that he really kind of fell apart. I think the lack of depth. I think he just lost the squad a little bit. They weren't the same after the bye. I thought it was a little bit of an edge there after, but you could tell in the Arizona State game it just wasn't. Something was just off. Even though they won, even though they scored points, even though they did all that, it was and they tried to get it. I thought they had it back when they went at Colorado, but then again, the same thing was just really like to me, just like he has to make a decision on whether or not, like, yes, they might get Jim Leonard, yes, they might get Scaly, yes, they might get Lake, but there's times where even if you're an offensive coach, you have to sit back and tell him, hey, what are we doing? Like, this is what I want done right now. We have a lead.
Yep.
Like, let's rush 4 and play 2 high safety, and not give anything up. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be that kind of defense where nothing over the top. Let our pass rushers go eat. So that's something to think about as well too. So, and then Paul Feinbaum. Now, I got some DMs about Paul Feinbaum, and I think the thing that the reason why I didn't really go on I was going to go on a tirade and do like a really short show and talk about him. But when you have somebody on ESPN who is their sole purpose in life is to protect the Southeastern Conference, like I'm not gonna go crazy about it. Like, yes, USC faltered, didn't play well. We all know they fell short. Preseason number 6 to being unranked is unexcusable. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but like to me, like he goes after USC, he goes after Michigan, as if the the tempo of the SEC is just clean as a whistle.
Well, he had that's that like you said, that's his brand, right? So he's staying on brand. I don't take too much from Paul. Paul took shots at Pete,
Oh yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So
He did.
like, what do you want me to expect from him when you take a shot at a guy who Auburn couldn't beat us? None of your teams in the SEC could beat us, but you took a shot at Pete. So I don't expect him to do nothing when you didn't like Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't like him then, so I don't expect you to like him now. You hate us from the beginning. You hate Southern Cal from the beginning, as he would call. He hates Southern California. Like, okay, Paul, you got it. Like I'm not gonna argue with you, dude. Like that's pointless.
Yeah, it's silly. It's silly. I would say the one question that media members, and I'm giving the media members a question for Lincoln Riley because they're not they didn't ask this question, would be the style of offense. If you look at the history of the playoff, the teams who win it don't play your style. So why is your style conducive to winning a championship at SC? Like that's a question that nobody's ever asked.
Well, so I'll flip that back. Is it a style of offense or the style of defense? Because that's been his problem.
Yeah, that has been his problem. But like, like that part of it is too. Like when I went back and read tweets and read articles back when he hired AJ Grinch, Alex Grinch, and Alex Grinch was a hot commodity at that time. So like,
he had a top defense. When he coached at, I believe, at Washington State, had a good defense.
Yes.
Like but see, he had the same issues, right? He had the same problems. So he had that. I just think that when you take a look at Grinch and Lincoln, it just at some point it stopped working. But like, I think what did he say? He was like, he was through the transition, right? He went through the transition, and when he went through the transition, he was there in Oklahoma. Now we're going through another transition because the defense ain't good enough. There's not really much more that you would want from that, and saying that, hey, this thing just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At a point, Alex Grinch was there. He was good. I just don't think Grinch had a scheme that's gonna fit, really fit and recruit.
Yeah.
In today, because you got to realize, like, when you talked about depth, that was a good point, because we're not tackling in practice. We're not even hitting in practice.
Yeah.
So how do we switch to tackle on Saturdays?
Exactly. And maybe that's probably the reason why they didn't do that is because they don't have the depth. So if somebody got hurt.
No, true. But it's a catch-22.
Yeah, but you got but they actually did have depth. That's a problem. But he didn't want to play certain people. Like he didn't want to play Rajon Davis. And Rajon Davis can play football. So I'm not sure why they didn't play him. So it was just a weird situation. So I don't know. But he definitely needs to go as far as that goes. He went, and we'll see what happens with the USC defensive coordinator position. We'll see if it's after Thanksgiving or at some point it has to become soon because a lot of recruits, no recruits have. Okay, and no recruits have like left yet. So I think they're waiting to see who's coming, and hopefully it's somebody else who is who's going to be good enough to help that team get better as far as that goes.